the UEFA Champions League draws, and it's looking so interesting with Pep Guardiola winning the UEFA Men's Coach of the Year and Serena Vegman winning the UEFA Women's Coach of the Year, and then we are having Ellen Broth Holland winning the UEFA Men's Player of the Year, and a lot is happening. And like I told you, it is the last edition of Sports Frenzy for the month of August, and it's been exciting. This month has been an exciting month, I must tell you. It's Precious and Joko. You can call me the Sports Diva, and I've got with me the engine room. He goes by the name David Orji. How you doing, David?
Good evening. Welcome to Sports Frenzy. Today's edition of Sports Frenzy is going to be explosive because my fellow professional Ellen Broth Holland just won the European Men's Player or the UEFA Men's Player of the Year. And I say very big congratulations to him. Watch out for me, Precious and Joko. Next season, I'll definitely be standing on that same podium. That same podium where we currently have Alexa Putellas of Football Club.
Aitana Bomati.
Okay, sorry, Bomati of Barcelona. And we also have, Ellen Broth Holland of Manchester City. I will be standing on that podium by this time next season. It's just that I'll be standing on this, in the Asian home.
Okay, so quickly, let's actually get straight to talking about the UEFA Champions League draws, because we're definitely going to be getting conversation out this evening. And in Group A, we have Bayern Munich, we have Manchester United, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. And in Group B, we have Sevilla, Arsenal, who are making a return for the first time in 6 years. And then we have PSV, who knocked Arsenal out of the Europa League last season at the Emirates Stadium. And then we have Lens. And in Group C, we have Napoli, we have record winners Real Madrid, we have Braga, and then we have the German side, Union Berlin. And in Group D, we have Benfica, we have the Italian side, Inter Milan, Red Bull Salzburg, and the Spanish team, Real Sociedad. And in Group E, we have Feyenoord, we have Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and the Scottish team, Celtic. And in Group F, we have Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, and, you can actually call them newcomers, Newcastle United. And in Group G, we have defending champions Manchester City, RB Leipzig. Well, Manchester City and RB Leipzig are no longer new to themselves, and then you have Real Star Belgrade, and then you have Young Boys. And in Group H, you have Barcelona, Porto, you have Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp. But let's start from the group of Newcastle United, which is Group F, where you have PSG, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle. On paper, obviously, Newcastle United are looking like the weakest link on paper, and you might want to give it to PSG, and probably Borussia Dortmund and AC Milan to jostle for the top two finish, and who drops the Europa League, maybe either Borussia Dortmund or AC Milan. But what Newcastle United have done since the takeover happened, and what AD is doing at Newcastle United, Newcastle United are forced to reckon with, especially in the UEFA Champions League this season. They are making very timely signings, and they would want to leave a lasting impact, in the UEFA Champions League this season. What do you make out of that Group F?
Well, for me, that's the group of death. For Newcastle, I think Newcastle, the best Newcastle can actually get in that particular group is maybe just moving down to the Europa League, dropping down to the Europa League.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Well,
so you're not giving them a chance, probably to advance the round of 16.
I am not giving Newcastle a chance of making it out of that group, because look at Paris Saint-Germain, they have a new manager,
Luis Enrique.
Luis Enrique has also won the Champions League when he was a Football Club de Barcelona. He's also a manager who has given his all. He was recently the national team manager of the Spain's national team before he now moved back to Paris Saint-Germain. Don't forget Paris Saint-Germain, they still have Kylian Mbappe. Don't Neymar is out and Messi. But they still have some exciting young talents, and they've been competing, in the UEFA Champions League. Which other team is in that particular
we have Borussia Dortmund and AC Milan.
Now you look at Borussia Dortmund. Now Borussia Dortmund, they won the Champions League way back in they've not won.
They've not won. AC Milan rather.
They got to the finals of the Champions League way back in 2013.
They lost to Bayern.
Munich, but they've actually been around the corridors of the UEFA Champions League. So maybe, and last season as well, they gave Bayern Munich a good run for their money. That they were almost, in fact, they almost broke the 11-year dominance of Bayern Munich in the German Bundesliga, but luck happened to Thomas Tuchel.
But Borussia Dortmund actually lost.
Well, they
actually threw away the title.
That's what I'm saying. But they still gave, unlike what we see before, where 6 games or 7 games, and Bayern Munich has already wrapped up the trophy. It wasn't, or they've wrapped up the title. It wasn't the same scenario last season. So Borussia Dortmund is also, I think, we need to make a case for Borussia Dortmund. Now you look at AC Milan. AC Milan, they were absolutely phenomenal.
They
Now,
won the Champions League a record 7 times.
and at the point in time, AC Milan actually went down the drain, but it took them time to rebuild. Now, after rebuilding, the rebuilding process, they won the Italian Scudetto. After winning the Italian Scudetto, they actually got to the semi-finals of the Champions League last season.
Where they lost to
Where they
Inter.
lost to Inter, it was, the Derby della Madonnina. And right now, they are back in the Champions League. And also this season, they're firing from all cylinders. They've also gotten some very exciting players. Christian Pulisic actually came in from Chelsea. Ruben Loftus-Cheek also came in from Chelsea.
Fantastic
And,
players.
yeah,
Players
fantastic.
that Chelsea don't want. And then they go to AC Milan. All of a sudden, they become fantastic.
Oliver Giroud is also firing from all cylinders. Christian Pulisic has actually scored a brace for AC Milan.
That's what
this
I'm
season.
saying. The same players that Chelsea don't want.
Samuel
Then they've
Chukwueze.
entered, AC Milan. They become fantastic.
Exactly.
Wow.
Samuel Chukwueze as well. They also have the likes of Rafael Leao. For me, to be honest, before God and before man, it's either Borussia Dortmund and AC Milan battle for who would actually take the Europa League spot. But for Newcastle, try again next year.
I don't think so. I think I might just give Newcastle might just be that surprise package. Now let's get to Group H, where we have Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp. Why I'm actually looking at this group are groups that on paper it doesn't look like other of the teams they have a chance. Barca have struggled in the past 1 or 2 seasons, to probably get to the round of 16 and the UEFA Champions League, and the Europa League has more like been a safe haven for them. And this time around, they have an opportunity against 2004 winners Porto. Then you have Shakhtar Donetsk, and then you have Antwerp, and then you have Barcelona. On paper, it's looking like a Barcelona affair, and then the second position and the third position can be dragged by Porto, Shakhtar, and Antwerp.
Well, definitely on paper, Barcelona. Well, aside paper, someone even if it's something that's even visible to the blind and audible to the deaf, that definitely Football Club de Barcelona will be making it to the next round of the competition. But Porto, Royal Antwerp, these are things that might have to just so for maybe a place in the round of 16 of the knockout stages and a Europa League. But for me, I think this football is for Barcelona, the work has been cut out. You look at last season. They were in the same group with Inter. They were in the same group with Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich and Inter qualified ahead of Football Club de Barcelona and made them go down to the Europa League. And Manchester United also set them packing from the Europa League. But this time around, they have their work cut out for them because they have the biggest team in Group H. So for me, it's Football Club de Barcelona. And anybody who deems it wise.
All right, and in Group E, we have Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic. I don't know, but one manager that probably is enjoying a whole lot of immunity, permit me to use the word immunity, is Diego Simeone.
Not being fault now.
He's enjoying immunity, and I think by far he is the highest paid manager. He's enjoying immunity. I think for Atletico Madrid hierarchy, make sure we're in the top 3. Make sure we're within touching distance of Real Madrid and Barcelona. But I'm not going to take away anything from Atletico Madrid and Diego Simeone, because Diego Simeone came and that dominance coming from Barca and Real Madrid was broken when Atletico Madrid won the La Liga. Atletico Madrid got to the finals of the Champions League, and they actually pushed the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid to the limit. And this time around, they are in the same group with the likes of Feyenoord, Lazio from Italy, and then you have Celtic from Scotland. Obviously, it's looking like Celtic are the weakest link in this particular group.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say Celtic, they are the weakest in that particular team, because Celtic, they've been playing in Champions League. Yes, they have a new manager. Their former manager has actually moved over to Tottenham.
Brendan Rodgers.
No, that was
and Brendan Rodgers going over.
Yeah, going over. So, and well, it's going to be very dicey. But I think a team I'm actually more concerned about is Feyenoord.
Why?
Yes, I'm very much concerned about Feyenoord coming from the Eredivisie. Aside Ajax, I don't think there is any team that.
I think PSV also.
Well, I don't.
They actually knocked Arsenal out of the Europa League at the Emirates.
That was the Europa League, but this time around, I'm talking about the Champions League. And if your team is not playing in this season's Champions League, I don't know. I don't know what you just enjoy. You know what they say? The Champions League is for big boys. And if you look at the big boys in the Premier League, it is Man City, Manchester United, Arsenal, and Newcastle. If you know here, if you know here your name here,
Actually, Spike came in and said, "I'm not interested in the UEFA Champions League
why
draw."
should he be
He said
interested?
Chelsea is not playing. I told him I
Waiting
understand. I
concern,
told him I
no,
understand.
but normally waiting concern Buru with
But I know
Tobago.
you're definitely going
Nothing.
to get there.
But to be honest now, waiting concern water and generator, absolutely nothing. So
Okay.
Chelsea is more like water, and then UEFA Champions League is like generator. They have no business. They have nothing in common. But that notwithstanding, if you look at that particular group, I think Feyenoord might actually stand a chance over Celtic. But I think all those groups are going to be very, very tricky. Very, very tricky.
And
But Atletico de Madrid, in fact, they have their work cut out for them.
And in Group G, we have Benfica, we have last season finalists, Inter Milan, we have Red Bull Salzburg, and Real Sociedad.
Well,
I can't even. It's a dicey one.
it's a very, very dicey one, but you know, one of the biggest teams there is Inter. Got to the finals of the Champions League. They also won the Champions League against Bayern Munich in 2010. They've also won the Scudetto recently. And for me, Inter's rebuilding project has actually paid off. So it's going to be easy for Inter to actually scale through the group stages of the Champions League, which is a very good one for them.
Okay.
But maybe the round of 16, the quarterfinals, I think that might just be where they'll get to. But group stages, I think Inter is good. That group it's a very easy group for Inter.
Now, let's get to Group A. Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. Remember, Manchester United wanted the services of Harry Kane, and now Harry Kane has moved to Bayern. So it's more like a Harry Kane and a Bayern side up against a Manchester United on that Eric Ten Hag.
Well, for me, Manchester United fans might not like this, but I think I actually fancy the chances of Galatasaray qualifying over ahead of Manchester United.
Yeah, but I actually wanted to say the same thing. I wanted to say Manchester United might struggle to
And
actually,
that's part of the
get to the
group.
round of 16. Yes.
Now, because if you look at Galatasaray, yes, they actually came to the qualifiers. They just sealed their qualification. That was on Wednesday night or Tuesday night. That was when they sealed their qualification. But they're also Turkish league champions. But Manchester United, the last time they actually won the league, or the last time they won their, let me not say, or the last time they actually won their league, which league is Manchester United playing in? But the last time they won their league was way back in 2013. Picking when they won 2013, by now it was the JSS one, at least. I'm just trying to say. But Galatasaray, recent champions of the league. So it's going to be a very, very tricky group. But I know on paper, everyone is saying, well, Bayern Munich already have their work cut out for them. A very decent and wonderful side. I don't even see Bayern Munich dropping points in any reason against Manchester United. I feel like both home and away, Bayern Munich is actually going to get maximum 6 points. But here's another thing about Bayern. And after winning the league last season, Thomas Tuchel is basically rebuilding.
Yeah.
And Thomas Tuchel is gradually, when he came in, he was struggling. Because mid-season you're coming to take charge of the
Trying to stabilize
the team, knowing that the former manager there, Julian Nagelsmann, he was also doing well until he was actually shown the exit door. So Thomas Tuchel he's getting hold of this Bayern Munich team, and he has players who are willing to play. Now, Bayern Munich currently have wingers. Now, if you look at wingers, they have wingers who anytime, any day, no offense to Manchester United, but Bayern Munich have... in fact, Bayern has an attack, a very little attack that...
I think that's the word. Very little attack.
Very little attack that can actually penetrate.
The goals can come from anywhere.
You look at Serge Gnabry.
You can always Thomas Muller's there.
Thomas Muller.
You're looking at Harry Kane.
Harry Kane. You look at Leroy Sané. These are players who are very, very quick. These are players who are very fast, and these are players who are very, very intelligent. So for me, Group A, Bayern all the way, and maybe I think I'll just leave Galatasaray ahead of Manchester United. They're Manchester United fans. I am sorry. But everyone is entitled to their own opinion.
Sure.
Hopefully, when you call in,
you will tell us what you think.
Yeah, they can also make a case for Manchester United over Galatasaray. Let's look at Group B.
You have Sevilla, you have Arsenal, you have PSV and Lens. On paper, it's looking like a Sevilla, Europa League specialist, and Arsenal thing. But let's not forget, like I said, PSV, defeated Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium to dump them out of the Europa League. And then you're having the French side, Lens, It's more like, fine, they're getting a taste of Champions League football. Sevilla, we all know Sevilla played the Champions League, jump to the Europa League, win the Europa League. But it might be a different ballgame altogether for Sevilla. They might probably want to give it a go. And Arsenal making a return to the Champions League in over 6 years, might actually want to leave, make a statement in the Champions League. Maybe go ahead to win it. You never can tell.
Well, for me, dear Arsenal fans, you want to use this medium to actually say a big congratulations. I know you guys don't know what it feels like playing in the Champions League.
Wow, that's
no, I'm being serious. I know you guys don't know what it feels like playing in the Champions League. the last time Arsenal actually played in the Champions League, some of the players who are current Arsenal players were not playing football. Maybe they've not even turned professional players.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah, the last time was that 6 years ago?
Yeah, 6 years ago. The last time Arsenal actually played in the Champions League.
You don't reach 6 years?
Yes.
I have to say you don't reach like 16 years.
No, you're not being nice.
No, I'm just saying. But dear Arsenal fans, I know that the last time you guys actually played in the UEFA Champions League, some of the players or some of the crop of players you guys have now, maybe they never dreamt of playing in the Champions League. Let me give example. Aaron Ramsdale, maybe he has not even dreamt of playing the Champions League. The last time you guys were in the Champions League, Gabriel Martinelli, Odegaard is actually playing the Champions League when he was at Real Madrid. Look at some other players. Well, Thomas Partey, I'll make a case for him. Jorginho is actually a Champions League winner. Wow, the Arsenal squad is actually making sense. So no doubt about that, Arsenal will be going through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. But you look at some other teams. For me, I feel like Sevilla, your bet right. Sevilla is better for them to just finish third and drop down to the Europa League where they know that they are comfortable than going up in the Champions League to go and get to, and at the end of the day, they're not getting anything. So for me, I feel like Sevilla should just find a way to come third in that particular group. But for me, Arsenal is definitely going to top that group. The chances of Arsenal, I think maybe I wouldn't be surprised if I actually see Arsenal, bow out at the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League this season.
Well, I think at this point, let's wait for them to actually come out of the group.
Well, if I know deep inside my spirit that Arsenal will be making it out of that group. If Arsenal don't make it out of that group, I'm going to back Kodo. But I'm very, very optimistic. In fact, I say no. If Arsenal don't see, this is me sticking my neck out for Arsenal, right?
Well, why are you sticking your neck out for them? Anyway,
because I know they will. So if Arsenal don't make it out from that group, Precious, you see the way my hair is. I go back. No, and I'm actually going to on live video, I go Bab and Kojo.
Okay, fine. We're gonna come back to that particular issue. Now, Group C, we have Napoli, we have record winners Real Madrid, we have SC Braga of Portugal, and then we have Union Berlin from Germany.
It's very simple.
Real Madrid,
and Napoli. But no offense to Braga, Napoli. You look at Napoli over the years. Napoli, they've been improving. Last season they actually gave Liverpool a good run for their money in the group stages of the Champions League as well. They made it to the knockout stages, but unfortunately they couldn't push up. But that notwithstanding, in the league, they've been brilliant, winning their first Scudetto in 33 years. Victor Osimhen firing from all cylinders, and the Georgian winger bringing a lot to the team. They've also lost a defender who has moved to Bayern Munich, Kim Min-jae. Would that actually affect their chances this season in the Champions League? That's a big question. But that notwithstanding, it's Napoli and Real Madrid all the way. Now, you look at Real Madrid right now.
Okay.
I think we need to see, people need to start getting afraid of this Real Madrid team. If you're not afraid, for me, if I'm tipping any team to actually win the Champions League right now, I'm going to tip Real Madrid. You know the reason why? Mm-hmm. Now, they bring in functional players. They brought in Jude Bellingham. They went for Jude Bellingham. Now, Jude Bellingham recently, in fact, he has actually won the August Player of the Month in the Spanish La Liga. He has scored in all the games.
He's doing well.
He's doing well. Now, you also don't also forget, in midfield, they also have, Federico Valverde. They also have, Eduardo Camavinga. And, some of all these players. Well, if you still look at the bench, don't forget they still have a certain Luka Modric on the bench.
That's true.
They still have a certain Toni Kroos on the bench. They still have, some other players, the likes of Rodrigo on the bench. Vinicius Junior is out injured, but no problem. There's definitely a replacement coming in for him. And they still have some other wonderful and exciting players. So for me, I think it would be rather too late to actually say that Real Madrid are not favourites for the Champions League. It's their specialty, man.
All right, and March day 1 is on September 19th through 20th, and March day 2, October 3rd and 4th, March day 3, October 24th to 25th, March day 4, November 7th and 8th, March day 5, November 28th and 29th, and March day 6, December 12th and 13th. Days for March day 6, definitely when we get to the other side, we'll start talking about the likes of the UEFA Champions League round of 16. But quickly, let's go to the award, okay? UEFA Men's Player, Pep Guardiola, UEFA Women's Player, Serena Vegman, UEFA,
You mean coach, rather.
coach, UEFA women's coach Serena Vegman, UEFA women's player Bumati of Spain, and Barcelona Femini, and you talk about UEFA men's player, you're talking about no other person but Ellen Broth Haaland, and then Miroslav Klose winning the UEFA President's Award. You see, it's deserving for each and every one of those managers and players respectively. They actually did well, for their respective clubs. Ellen Broth Haaland, crazy record last season in the Premier League, helping Manchester City to a first treble for Manchester City. And then you look at Bomati, also helping Barcelona to win the UEFA Women's Champions League, also helping the Spanish ladies to winning a first FIFA Women's World Cup. And Serena Vegman coming into the tournament as a European champion, getting to the finals of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Pep Guardiola, a treble for him. All these guys are deserving of, the individual awards, the one tonight.
Well deserving, Michelle. You well deserving. Let me start from Pep Guardiola. As a manager, Pep Guardiola, he actually wants more. I think